Alrighty, I exclaimed, trying to stand, only to fall back against Shuichi. I blushed at this and hid my face in his shirt.
Maybe it would be best for you not to stand at the moment,
Shuichi said. I looked up at him with a glare. I wanted to stay mad at him, but his smile and his kind eyes made it almost impossible for me to. Yeah, I whispered, falling even farther back into him. How embarrassing.
Well, discussing farther about where you will be staying, Kokichi, how far away are the other bases you mentioned?
Cathy asked, making me turn my attention back to her. My face still felt hot from the earlier incident, but that wasn't the most pressing issue at the moment.
The bases are all pretty spread out throughout the town. Some blocks away and others miles away. That's why we have a car in the basement to get to them all.
I said, more serious. She smiled at me and Shuichi before she got off the bed.
That should work then,
she said, trailing off. She started walking towards the door with her back facing the two of us.
Is there something else we should know, Cathy?
Shuichi asked from behind me, making Cathy turn her head back over her shoulder.
Just make sure they never find out about how the bases are all connected, or this could be really dangerous.
She whispered before leaving the room. She softly closed the door behind her before Shuichi moved me around in his lap so I was facing him once again.
Kokichi, are you okay with this?
He asked. I put my hand to my chin. Am I really ready for this? We are going to have to tell Dice what's going on, so if things go to worst, then at least they know what's happening.
Yeah, it's just...
I cut myself off as I looked him in the eyes.
Just what?
He asked gently, kissing my cheek. I could feel one of my hands shaking. Maybe that's why he kissed me? You must know I'm nervous. I mean, it's hard to hide your feelings from someone you are connected to mentally and emotionally.
We are going to have to tell the others about this,
I said. Shuichi's shoulders tensed before he shook his head twice.
I'm sure it's going to be alright.
He paused, moving his head to my shoulder.
I mean, we have each other, and in the end, that's all we need, right?
He asked. I thought about this, here for one another, but what about my family?
They are very important to you,
Shuichi stated. I looked down at him to notice he was giving me a side glance.
Yes, of course they are,
I said, feeling a little offended that he didn't just know that.
I know that. I just can feel that you care about them a lot.
He paused, looking down at my shoulder.
So we need to make sure to keep them safe,
he said again. I felt my whole body slump at this. So if Dice is in danger because of me and Shuichi, that means I'm going to have to leave them all behind.
You know what that means, right?
Shuichi asked, raising his head again.
Yeah, I do,
I said. I clenched one of my fists on the back of his shirt. It means if it all goes for the worst, I'm going to have to leave my family for what could potentially be forever.
You don't have to do this. I could see if Cathy can switch you back. Then you would be able to live your life and forget me.
I cut him off by kissing his lips. His eyes widened, his mind closed as I pressed myself against him.
Don't say that.
I paused and kissed him again.
I wanted this, remember?
I said again, blushing a bit at my statement. I want this. I want to stay with Shuichi, no matter what the cost may be.
Yeah,
he said, still looking guilty.
Shuichi,
I started only to be cut off by my phone going off. Who could be calling me? I moved out of Shuichi's embrace and went over to the side table. I picked up the phone, seeing Jodian's picture show up.
Hello?
I answered the phone.
Hey, boss, I just wanted to ask when you would be back.
Jodian asked over the phone, making me laugh a bit.
I should be back today. Sorry, some things came up. I should have texted you.
I said back before hearing a laugh on the other side of the phone.
Alright, just come back to us safe, okay?
He said before hanging up the phone.
Jody,
I said with a small smile. Shuichi smiled at me as well. I'm assuming he already knows what the conversation was about, judging by the look on his face.
What?
I asked teasingly. He blushed before he sighed.
I just think it's nice that they called to check up on you.
I felt my face turn up in a smile before I walked back over to hug him.
My beloved Shumai, you're just way too cute.
I teased, rubbing my head against his own.
Hey, why all of a sudden?
He started asking, but I cut him off.
You can't change my opinion, my beloved, and it's true.
I smiled at him. After I pulled away to see his face, he was looking over to the side before covering his mouth with his hand.
Okay.
He said, looking down at his hands. I sighed and grabbed his hands in my own.
I love you.
I teased again before he blushed more.
Oh, okay then.
He said, sounding a little unconvinced.
Shumai.
I said, making him look over at me.
What is it?
He asked with furrowed brows.
You think I'm lying, don't you?
I asked, moving back towards his face.
I wouldn't say.
He started before I cut him off by putting a finger to his lips.
You can't lie to a liar, you know.
I teased before he swatted my hands away.
I know that.
He whispered under his breath.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
He said silently, bowing his head. I grabbed his chin before he could bow again.
I didn't say you offended me.
I looked him in the eyes with a serious glare. He flinched at this before I softened my gaze.
I just wanted to point that out, because I really do love you.
I said, kissing his cheek. He looked to the side, looking sad. I frowned a bit at this before I moved back onto the bed, so I was sitting in his lap once more. I looked up at him, but he didn't meet my gaze.
Shuichi, I love you.
I cooed, making him look down at me.
Really?
He asked. I could tell he was feeling guilty about the whole transformation. I didn't want him to feel bad about something that was going to help me be safe. We are being targeted for the bond we have, so I'm sure having heightened abilities can only help with that.